Hi there and welcome. My name is Rebecca Weaver and I'm going to be multiplying and dividing rational expressions today. So we have a step-by-step procedure. Step 1, factor each numerator and denominator completely. Step 2, multiply the numerators and denominators. Step 3, simplify by dividing out common factors. Here's our problem. We have n squared minus 7n all over n squared plus 2n plus 1 times the quantity n plus 1 over 2n. What you need to do is factor each numerator and denominator completely. So we'll do this slowly. First up, I factored that first numerator. There's an n in both terms, so I pulled that n out. And that's n dividing out that n, I'll have n minus 7 left. In the denominator, I'll factor that n squared plus 2n plus 1. Now we went over factoring in our previous sections. So if you'll remember, I look at n squared, I put down my two n's, I know that it's a plus plus. I look at the factors of 1, will they make that middle term? Yes, they do. So this is factored correctly. Then I write down my other two terms. They don't need any factoring. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel everything I can. If I go ahead and cancel where I can, it makes my job easy at the end. So first up, see those two n plus 1s? Gone. Next, see those two n's? They're gone. Nice. Nothing else in common. Just write it down and you're done. So these problems look really long and complicated, but the key is factoring and canceling. So here's my problem. I have x squared minus 25 all over x squared minus 3x minus 10. I'm going to multiply that by x plus 2 over x. I first need to factor that first term. So I've got x squared minus 25. That's one of those plus guy minus guy things. So I'm going to factor that into x plus 5 times x minus 5. The denominator factors into x minus 5 times x plus 2. Then I just write down the other term because there's nothing to do there. Next, I'll cancel out wherever I have like terms. See that x minus 5? Gone. See that x plus 2? Gone. I don't have anything else in common. Remember, it has to be exact, so I don't have anything else in common. So I just write x plus 5 over x, and that is factored completely, and it is simplified. All right, let's do another one. Let's say we have 2x minus 6 all over x squared minus 8x plus 15 times the quantity x squared minus 25 over 2x plus 10. I'm going to factor that first term. I'll factor out that 2, leaving me with 2 times x minus 3. Factor that denominator. I'll get x minus 3 times x minus 5. That second term will also factor. I'll get x plus 5 times x minus 5. It's one of those difference of squares. And the denominator, you see how that both of those two terms have a 2, so I pulled that 2 out, and I have x plus 5 left. Now I'm going to cancel where things are in common. Bam, x minus 3's, you're out of there. 2's, you're gone. X plus 5's, you're out. X minus 5, you're out. What do I have left? Just 1. Same thing over itself is 1. That's all this simplified to. That was really cool. Let's look at another one. B squared minus b all over b squared plus 9b minus 10 times the quantity b squared minus 100 over b squared minus 10b. This is really messy. Factor that first term. See how both of those two guys have a b in them? Pull that b out, and what do you have left? B minus 1. The denominator, that factors into b plus 10 times b minus 1. The second term is a b minus 10 times a b plus 10. And then that denominator, look at how both of them have a b in them. I'll pull that b out and get b minus 10. Now, the fun part. What's in common? B minus 1's. What's in common? B's. What's in common? B plus 10's. What's in common? B minus 10's. This one's 1 as well. That's also fun. So what if they ask you to divide? there's nothing more to do except for in order to divide, you just change it to multiplication. You flip that back guy. Remember that? Same thing. This is fractions. You'll just do the same thing. So what I'll do now is I'm going to factor. I look at that first term. He's done. Don't need to do anything. That second term, that bottom, ooh, that's a little disturbing. Hold on. Okay, that's a little better. I factored that second term into 4 minus y over 2 plus x, 2 minus x. So let's see what we've got here. What cancels? Those two things are exactly the same. Oops, there we go. But now I do need a minus 1 over that guy there because he's not exactly the same. He's exactly opposite. So he's minus 1 off of that one instead of a 1. That's a cool little trick that we can do. And so this equals negative 1 over x plus 2. Oh my goodness, look at this next one. I've got 2x squared plus 5x minus 12 all over x squared minus 16 divided by 2x squared minus 13x plus 15 all over x squared minus 8x plus 16. Before I can start, just flip that last guy. Okay, then let's start factoring. The first term factors into 2x minus 3 times x plus 4 all over x plus 4 times x minus 4. Factoring that second guy, I'll get x minus 4 times x minus 4 all over 2x minus 3 times x minus 5. Then I'm doing some canceling here. Let me go ahead and get started with my canceling. Okay, after my canceling is all over, I get x minus 4 over x minus 5, and I'm all done. That's all there is to this one. A lot of factoring. Where before we were doing one problem to factor as our whole problem, now we can have like 4 problems to factor, and then we still have work to do. So these problems are long, and if you really got the hang of factoring, you'll get some more practice in this particular section. All right, if you need any help, rweaver10 at alaska.edu. Have a fabulous day.